Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As you read from the title, this is another chapters tutorial, so if you're interested in creating your own interactive stories like what you see playing on the screen, then please do keep watching and subscribe to not miss out on future videos for this series. So far I've done videos on how to download your chapters characters and how to create a story cover using your chapters characters, but in today's video I'm only going to be covering how you make and create choices, free choices and paid choices that readers have to pay to unlock. Now, one thing that I want to mention up front about choices is that to earn money off your chapter stories, there are some requirements that you first have to meet, so please make note of what you see on the screen. If you're like me and currently do not have access to the payment center, then it doesn't really make sense for you to charge your readers to pay for choices in your story at the moment, because that money won't be going to you anytime soon. So please keep that in the back of your mind while creating stories. Also, if you live in a different country, I suggest you check out the FAQ section about this in the chapters editor webpage, because the 150k read requirement varies based on the country that you live in, so do be sure to check with your specific country in the FAQ center. If you already have content written for a chapter, great. Feel free to skip ahead a few minutes, but if you're brand new and are just starting out, I'm going to show you how to get your story started and tell you what some of the buttons mean, and also show you how to create a choice. And on the screen I will also be listing additional things that you need to know for future reference as well when creating your story. Alright, so when you get into actually making your story, this is what it should look like if you don't already have things listed. So let's take a look at these buttons here. So first things first, let's add a background. And over here, as you're adding to your story, you can always preview it by clicking this button here that says switch to game mode. So let's go ahead and insert some dialogue. You can just click on the button, and to change from your character speaking, you'll just select the narration button here. And you can also change your character's expressions, and this switches from speech to thought. Okay, so now that we've gotten a scene started and we're approaching where we want to add our first choice, what you'll need to do is select Add Branch. This is going to transition over to something that looks like this, and you may need to go back in and re-add your background, so you can go ahead and do that, or you can change your background. And a cool little feature in here, if you already are several chapters into your story, then you can select this button here, show in use only, and it'll show all of the scenes that you're currently using throughout your story. So let's go ahead and reselect our background, and now we're at our choice. Alright, so once you filled out your information, let's take a look at some of these buttons here. So this is how you make a choice premium. At the moment you can only select 12. Now this button here is going to add a scene, so let's briefly look at our story so far. So we have the scene with the character on campus and she runs into the guy and he's helping her with her books, and now we have a choice here. So each choice that you create is going to need to connect to a scene to keep the flow of the story going. So this is where you can add a scene for each choice. So let's start with Be Friendly, that response. Go ahead and click on that button and then it will take you here. Again, you may need to re-add the background. Alright, so now we just finished the scene for the Be Friendly response. So let's preview our story so far. Alright, so since we have not written a scene for choice B, let's go ahead and select choice A. Alright, so let's circle back to our choice so that we can make a scene for the second option. So you can either select this little button here to go back, or you can extend this and just click on the branch. That's perfectly fine. Alright, so now we just finished the completing the scene for our second choice. So now let's play our story again and preview it. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick the second option now that we've filled out that dialogue. Alright, so now if we take a look at our story, it's starting to come together. Also, you can, if you hit settings, you can actually rename the scenes. I highly suggest you do that to help keep yourself organized. Alright, so that's basically how you add choices to your story. But now if you want to go a little further, as you can see here, we don't have any place else to go. So there's two things that you can do here when it comes to creating interactive fiction. Some people create choices that don't alter the storyline and are just there for fun for the reader, and some people create choices that affect the storyline and may send readers to a good or bad ending. So if you create choices that don't alter the storyline, then all you'll have to do is use the link function at the end of a choice, and this will basically redirect your reader back into the main storyline. Take the picture on the screen for an example. Now, if you're someone who has multiple endings in your story, then you'll have to be very creative with how you use the link function, because you'll more than likely have multiple scenes and multiple choice options and different paths, different pathways that your reader can go down. So try not to get confused and accidentally link a scene to the wrong path. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I suggest you get into the editor and play around with it, because that's how I learned, and that's how you'll learn, by getting some hands-on practice. And before I end this video, please remember to link your chapters. This is very important. So when you're done with chapter 1, for example, and let's say you've already started on chapter 2, you will need to go back to the final scene in chapter 1 and link that scene to chapter 2. I'm showing a example in the video if you're watching. If you don't do this step and a reader finishes chapter 1 and chapter 1 hasn't been linked to your chapter 2, then the reader won't be prompted to keep reading, and it'll give off the impression that they have finished your story and the book is over. So please make sure that you link your chapters to each other. In the next video, I'll show you guys how to create a dressing game so that your reader can choose what outfits your character wears. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more tutorials. And if you have a question, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next video.